Since the earliest days of sailing, boaters wanted the most accurate charts that they could produce or acquire. Accurate charts are especially important when sailing in coastal areas such as the Salish Sea. Since these waters span both U.S. and Canadian waters, it's important to understand the differences in the charts that are available. All of the U.S. waters are charted, and electronic versions of those charts are made available at no cost through the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, that's NOAA. Now, these charts can be downloaded in either raster or vector format from the site. It's www.nauticalcharts.noaa.gov, and I'll go ahead and put a link to this in the description. Once you access the NOAA site, the first thing you do is look for the chart locator, and once you've located the area with the charts that you're interested in, and here's an example for the Pacific Northwest, the Salish Sea, you actually go ahead and select whichever charts, and you can actually download them as a bundle, so you can actually download as many charts as you want. I take all of them typically for Washington State because we do a lot of boating in this region. And as you can see, each chart is individually identified, so you can take one or more charts as needed. In my case, I take all of these charts and I put them in a folder for use by all of my different devices. Once you've got all of these charts loaded into OpenCPN, and you'll see the outline on this as an example here. These outlines are in fact different charts. You can see the chart numbers. Anyway, once those charts have been loaded, you can set them up to automatically open the next chart down based on the resolution and based on where you are on the screen. So as an example, we can move in. Let's say I want to go up to, I don't know, Susha. So as we come into Susha and we go ahead and get closer and closer to Susha, you'll notice that we have a new chart suddenly opens up. And if that's not enough, it will continue to open. Here we've got another new chart. And ultimately what you end up doing is having a chart that basically shows the level of resolution that you need. That's not always the case, in particular if you're moving outside of the NOAA charts. I have paper charts as an example for Canadian waters, but I do not have electronic charts. And as most of you probably are doing, we almost exclusively run electronic charts because that way we can integrate the GPS location and actually see where the boat is on that chart. Here's an example of how even the NOAA charts sometimes don't go into enough detail. Here's Garrison Bay, for instance. And here then is a Navionics chart that we downloaded. And it's probably 3 times the resolution and the detail. Another example would be Enterprise Channel. This is the best you can get from NOAA charts. And here then is the Navionics equivalent that we downloaded. And it is exactly 12 times the resolution. So there are some huge benefits from sources in addition to the NOAA chart packages, especially if you're outside of the U.S. Sherry and I plan on heading up to Princess Louisa Inlet and Chatterbox Falls. And as you can see, it is definitely outside of the U.S. and NOAA charts will not be available there. So what we're going to do is, in addition to having the paper charts that we have, we're going to go ahead and use a couple of programs, and I'll put the links to these in our description so you can go in and find them. Some other YouTubers have already done a really amazing job of kind of pointing out how to go about downloading. They're called tiles. And as these tiles are downloaded and converted into charts, we can then put them into our online OpenCPN, and that way we know exactly where the boat is, and it's a lot easier to follow. So I'll go ahead and show now how we go about downloading these charts. I've also included a link to a really good YouTube video. I believe it was done by Out Chasing Stars. It's going to be in the description, so you can go straight to that video. There's several of them like that. One thing you can do with the SAS and the companion SAT2 chart is you can come in and create polygons so they don't take up as much space. Basically what you're doing is you're just finding areas that cover the waterfront, if you will, that you're interested in covering, but they don't have to be so large that they actually take up a lot of space. Let's see if I can get this one down there. As you can see, it's kind of an art form here. We'll pull these out, and before you know it, we've got a chart that'll actually cover most of the area that we want to see. We're going up Princess Louisa, and so we want to come out pretty much to the mouth here of the inlet. And at this point, we'll go ahead and save this, and we'll create our chart based just for this area here, and then I'll come in and do a close-up of Malibu as well. Another example, this is the real simple way of doing it, which is to come into the level of zoom, let's say, that you want to find. And when you get to the level of zoom that you want to find here, let's go out a little like this, then you can simply go ahead and say, I want to go ahead and save this. And you do this, you just literally leave this open, and then you open the other program, which let me find that here, and then I'll show you how it works. At this point, all you really need to do is click on Create Chart, and it will actually generate a chart for you, and I'll show you what that chart looks like. One of the things we're able to do is once we've developed the charts, we want to go ahead and you want to take those charts, and I've kept them in this download file. You want to go ahead and scan the charts and then update the database. And once that occurs, you are then able to go ahead and now you can go and use those charts. As you can see here, I went ahead and downloaded this is a CMAP version of the chart that we wanted. It basically it shows the trip we're going to take, and it gives us a little more detail, obviously, than what you can get. You can see the surrounding chart here, very little amount of detail, but using the sat-nav and the SAS Planet, you can actually download these charts, and this chart here, you'll notice, gives us kind of sufficient detail to get underway. And once if you follow this, when you come up to, this is the Malibu Rapids. I did another close-up so that when you get to Malibu Rapids, you'll notice that suddenly, and you can kind of see this outline, you'll get an even higher res version. The reason is that as we go through Malibu Rapids, I want to see more detail. So that's kind of what we're looking at, and this should do really exactly what we need. I went ahead and downloaded another quick rectangular chart. Basically, this one kind of centers on Texada and Lasqueti Island. Wanted to show basically the zoom effect. I've got this again at a relatively low resolution because there's an awful lot of data involved in these charts. But as an example, if you want to look at Hornby Island, for instance, Hornby is a pretty popular place here, and this gives you a little bit more detail about the area. Tribune Bay in particular, which is kind of famous for having some warm water along about late July, August. Also False Bay, which I've spent evening or more in False Bay, which it's just a nice little out-of-the-way place, although it is very deep. Some of these anchorages are, you're looking at 90 feet of water that you're anchoring in. But it gives you an idea of what's available, and you can then go to, further higher zoom level, if you will. But this just shows what you can do with these charts. Again, if you compare this, let me see if I have a, here's the alternative. As you can see, if you're looking at Lesceti, you really get nothing. And here's Tribune Bay, if you can imagine. So it is beneficial to have access to some of these other charts. And again, OpenCPN makes it real easy to do. Here's one more quick example of how we download these files. First, I zoomed into, this is False Creek, and I zoom into the area that I'm interested in. And you'll notice, I probably can't see it, but this is a zoom level 17. And again, this is active cap. No, this one here is CMAPS. At this point, I'll go ahead and start my, this is the SAT2 chart. And basically what I've done is I've just said I'm going to create a chart, push the button, and it'll then ask me what levels. Well, in this case, it won't even ask me. It just says, here's what you're going to get. And then I get to choose at this point. I think I want a zoom level of probably, I'm thinking 17, 18, possibly 19. So I'm going for a little bit higher zoom level here. And at this point, it takes off and creates the chart. Now, while it's creating the chart, it goes through several iterations, as you can see. And it will automatically deal with what we're looking at. I'm going to go ahead and close it here, and I'll come back after a couple of minutes when the chart is built, and I'll show you what it looks like once we load it into OpenCPN. Now that we've loaded the chart into OpenCPN that we just made, I'll go ahead and select this to make sure that it's recognized, and you'll notice that now the area that before was quite very low res, now we can come in and actually see a little better what we were looking at. And here you'll see that we actually have some multiple zoom levels. You can actually see the anchorage areas. You can see the all of the things that we wanted to see. Anyway, so basically, I hope this this video has kind of helped people to feel a little more comfortable using OpenCPN and adding charts to it. Those of you, especially in the US, again, the easiest way to go about this is to simply use the NOAA charts that are made available. Anyway, good boating, and hope you're all staying safe and having some great time on the water.